Mr. Wizard, I'm here.
Okay, hi, Christina.
Why did you tell me to put my hair back?
Well, today you and I are going to do some experiments that involve fire. And whenever you deal with fire, you have to be extremely careful. So I just wanted your hair out of the way.
Okay,
And
my sleeves are
yeah, and your sleeves are all rolled up. And notice back there on the table I have a fire extinguisher. You know how to use them.
Yeah, you pull the thing.
Pull out the pin
and
and squeeze, right? Okay, and out comes fog.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I have water in the sink and everything else, so we're well protected because we are going to investigate the fire triangle, which is right there. See it?
Why is it a triangle?
Well, look, there are three important parts. You see what they are?
Oh, oxygen, heat, and fuel.
And you have to have all three to have a fire.
Okay.
And if you want to put out the fire, all you have to do is take one of them away. That's what you and I are going to do. We're going to start little fires, and we're going to put them out by taking one of those three things away. But first, here's a piece of paper. Would you crumple it up and put it in that flask? Okay. Now I'd like you to light the paper and then we're going to put the top on like that. So go ahead. Okay. I'll take the match. Okay. Let it burn a little bit. You stand by, put the top on. Okay. A little more, a little more. Okay, put the top on. What happened?
The fire went out. Why?
Yeah, why? Well, remember I said you had to take away one of these things and the fire would go out. What did we take away?
We took away the oxygen.
Right, because we smothered it. In other words, we prevented more oxygen from getting into the fire. Now, you know how firemen do the same sort of thing?
They take cloth or a blanket and put it around.
Well, they put it on, anytime they want to smother it, they can use also the fire extinguisher, because that cuts the supply of oxygen as well. And then if you catch on fire, you put a coat or a towel or a blanket, anything around you to shut off the supply of oxygen. Okay, you can put the oxygen back up again. Now I would like you to light the candle. I noticed, by the way, that you light the candle by stroking the match away from you, which is good. You can put it right down here.
Okay.
Here's a little piece of wire made into a coil. You take it. What I'd like you to do is slowly and carefully lower it right down over the flame.
The flame went out.
Why? Plenty of air can get through the, you know, because there's a lot of space there. Lots of fuel. What's the only thing that's left?
Heat.
Okay, take the heat away up there. You see, the copper absorbs heat very easily. So you took away the heat from the fire, and that's what put it out. Yeah.
It's like when we take water and to put out fires.
That's how firemen use water, right. Most people think they smother it, but they don't really. They put it out by taking away the heat. In fact, here. Would you take away the heat? That's what you do when you blow out the fire, too. You blow the heat away from the fire. Okay, you can put the heat back up. What do we got left?
Fuel.
Fuel. This time we're going to have a forest fire. Behind the chart there is a house. And here comes the forest.
Forest of matches.
Yeah, you put it right down there at the end, at the edge of the forest.
Okay.
And eventually you're going to light this tree right here, that match. And now what's going to happen?
It's going to spread to the other matches and start.
And it's going down here like this. And what do we got? What do we have to do over here with the thing?
Take away the fuel.
Okay, how are we going to do that? Well, have you ever heard of a fire break?
Oh yeah, that's when there's a road or something to stop the fire from spreading.
Or firemen sometimes actually go in and chop down all the trees and have a bulldozer in order to make a fire break to keep away the fuel. So you see where that white tape, I put that white tape, take away those matches and make a fire break. Okay. By the way, I'm standing by here with my squirters. Okay. So now you light the first tree over there. There you go. Now you go. Okay.
Oh, it's spreading to each match.
Yes, going from one match to the other. And this is what happens with a real forest fire, too. The fire burns and it sort of explodes and catches the next tree on fire and the next tree on fire. And I'm standing by with a match, and in case it doesn't catch that tree on fire, the wind blew it over and away it went. That happens in a real fire, too. The wind can come along and blow the fire from one tree to the other. In fact, sometimes the forest fire gets so strong that it creates its own wind because all that hot air is going up and other air is coming through. Okay, it's coming down to here, and we'll see if Christina's fire break will protect the house. You think it will?
I think it will.
You think I would want to burn up the house?
No.
With it? No, I wouldn't. Okay. Almost.
Is it going to do it?
It is going to go. Reach over. Okay, how did we put the fire out?
Took away the fuel.
Take away the fuel. Let's also take away the heat by blowing. Are you ready?
Okay.
So there we took away the heat, but how did we put the fire out here? We took away the
Fuel.
fuel. Okay, so put it back up here. Okay, how do you put out fires now?
Take away the oxygen, heat, and fuel.
Right, and now you know what happens when you investigate fire with the fire triangle.
Yeah.
Rattlesnake eggs. Caution. Keep cool.
Yes, have you ever seen rattlesnake eggs?
No.
Would you like to take a look at these?
Maybe, but is there a trick to it?
You suspect a trick?
Yes.
Well, go ahead, open it, you'll see.
Whoa.
So even though you suspected a trick, you sort of jumped when you heard the rattling?
Yeah.
This is a sort of trick that's been played by children since probably way back to your grandfather's day because they've been making them all the time. And here's what this is, a piece of wire. This happens to be a big paper clip, okay? And then, see at the end here, you make two little holes by twisting it with the pliers. And then what's this?
It's a washer.
Yeah, in fact, two of them to get some extra weight. And then?
And then it's two elastic bands.
Right. Now, when you wind them up, you're putting kinetic energy into the system. Do you know what the word kinetic means?
Yes.
What?
It means that it's like stop.
It's what?
It's
kinetic.
motion.
It's moving.
Motion.
In fact, that's where the word cinema comes from. The same root, you know, because it's motion pictures, right? In fact, this trick is very similar to many of the tricks. Have you ever opened a can and there's a big snake that jumps out?
Yes.
Same
once.
idea, right?
Yeah,
You put kinetic energy by putting the snake in there and then it leaps out. And many tricks. There's also one in which you shake hands with somebody and there's a buzzer and it goes off. Same idea. You put kinetic energy into it, and now when you put it in the envelope like this, it has potential energy. What does that mean?
It means like it's stopped.
Stopped, or really it's more like stored.
Stored.
Ready to come out.
Okay.
So now what happens when you take it out?
Kinetic energy will come back.
Back, okay, go ahead, take it out. And of course, as you open it like that, the washers go around and hit the paper like that. So you think you can make one at home?
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't you keep that one as a sort of model?
Great.
And here's the envelope. Good
Okay.
luck with the rattlesnake eggs.
Okay.
Whenever you see this monkey, you automatically look for the organ grinder. But this time, you'll find Robert instead. Hellion, a female capuchin monkey, has been trained to do everyday chores for Robert because he's confined to a wheelchair and cannot use his hands. Robert tells Hellion what he wants her to do and points a laser to direct her to the job. Hellion is the first graduate of a training program headed by Dr. Mary Joan Willard at the Tufts New England Medical Center. Capuchins are ideal companions because they're gentle, can manipulate objects, and live for about 30 years. Hellion has been prepared with proven techniques, similar to those used to train performing animals. For a job well done, she's rewarded with a banana-flavored food pellet. But she can also get into mischief. She's trained to avoid an object marked with a white sticker. She's told no by hearing a tone followed by a slight electric shock. Soon, the tone itself is enough to remind her not to do something. The study has shown that Hellion performs her tasks with 90% reliability, and Robert has the pleasure of an intelligent, lively companion. no stooge for an organ grinder for this capuchin monkey, Hellion has broken new ground as a helper and friend to the handicapped. Damon, I have a series of logic switches that are going to be sort of puzzles for you.
Okay.
And the idea of it is that here is a battery, or a couple of batteries, and there is a buzzer, and here is a switch.
Okay.
Close the switch. Okay?
When I close the switch, it's a closed circuit since it all works.
Okay. Now that tells the rest of the circuit in a computer or a television set or something, one of these logic statements. Yes,
And either but not both, no, or either or.
okay. So which logic statement is this switch?
I say it's obviously yes because it's a closed circuit and yes, it works.
Okay, that tells the rest of the circuit that the switch is closed.
Yep.
Okay, now move that one out of the way and I'll bring up another one. You can see the battery is not in position,
Okay.
and you can see why in a moment.
Oh, it's probably no, it doesn't work since it's an open circuit.
Okay, you say that tells the rest of the circuit what?
And it's open.
That the switch is open, so
Yep.
it's a no.
No.
Okay, so go ahead, now put it up, let it go, but now take the battery out.
Okay. Oops.
There you go.
Oh, thanks.
Take that one out of the way, here comes another one. They're gradually getting a little more difficult.
Yeah.
As you can see, those were simple yes and no.
Yeah.
Okay, try this one.
Okay. That one won't work alone.
No?
And that one won't work alone. But they'll work together. So
Okay.
that one works and this one works at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think it's and.
Okay, so that means, that says to the rest of the circuit what?
That one works and that one works at the same
and
time.
that they're both working.
Yep.
Okay, good.
So it's and, okay.
Try this one. You only have two left, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
That one works. That one works.
Okay, now both.
And they both work together. So it's obviously either or because either one works and they both work.
Or they both work.
Yep.
Okay, like that.
Yes?
Okay,
Okay.
last one before the piece de resistance in which you really are going to be challenged.
Okay.
So this is either, but not both, right?
Right. So either that one works and that one works, but at the same time, they don't work.
Yeah, you're in either position, by the way. see?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay. Very good. Now, take that one out of the way, because here's the
Okay.
real test.
Either but not both. Wow, look at the size of that one.
Okay, now this is a puzzle in which there is a farmer
Okay.
who has a hen and a fox and some corn on one side of a river.
Okay.
And as long as he's there, he prevents the hen from eating the corn or the fox from eating the hen.
Yes.
Okay. And notice the green light goes on. Okay. Now he has room in the boat for only one of these things, and he wants to
Okay.
get them all across the river, which means he has to get them all from this side to this side.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that every time he goes over like that, if he takes the hen with him, that's okay, because the fox won't eat the corn, right? Okay, but if he comes back and he takes the fox,
The
problem.
hen will eat the corn.
But the hen will eat the corn. right?
Oh, okay.
You get the idea?
Yeah.
So I'd like you now to be able to get all of the things across, the farmer, the hen, and the fox, from one side of the river to the other, without sounding the buzzer once. Go ahead, start practicing. I'll come back later.
Okay. Well, obviously the farmer should take the hen first since the fox doesn't like corn. The corn can't eat the fox.
Okay, Damon, how'd you do?
I think I've got it, Mr. Wizard.
Okay, that's the buzzer that you don't want to hear, right?
Yeah.
As you try to get the corn, the fox, the hen, and the farmer from one side of the river to the other,
Yeah.
without leaving the hen and the corn, or the fox and the hen one
Yeah.
side without the farmer.
Exactly.
All right, so how do you do it?
Well, first I took the farmer and the hen over, and that leaves the fox and the corn, and fox don't eat corn, so
Okay.
there you go.
Okay,
And then the farmer comes back and takes the fox with him,
okay,
but the fox can't eat the hen while the farmer's there.
sure.
So he takes the hen back with him.
Okay.
And the-
Look out.
He's watching the hen and the corn,
Right, okay,
and so he can take the corn back with him again since
Okay.
the fox does not eat corn.
right.
Go back, take the hen, and he's watching all three of them.
Good. The light went on every time and no buzzer. Congratulations, you got them all across the river.
Thanks,
Based
Mr.
on
Wizard.
logic switches. Yeah. Okay, Jessica, have you got it centered now, you think?
Yes.
Okay, that means both sides are equal balance, right?
Yes.
Remember, I said now I want you to weigh out 1,000 grams of sand. 1 kilogram. There's the sand. It's almost all of it is what about needed, so just go ahead.
Okay.
We're also going to assume that that's very expensive chemical, and we want to be sure we have exactly 1 kilogram.
That's too much.
Too much, huh? Have you done this in school? Worked with a double pan balance like this?
Yes.
Okay. So you know what to do. It's a little heavy yet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's assume that that's good enough because
Okay.
we're just sort of illustrating a very important concept. You think you have 1,000 grams? Let's assume you got it all centered.
Yeah.
Exactly?
Yeah.
One thing you overlooked, you made the assumption that that was 1,000 grams over there, right? 1 kilogram, because I said it was. But scientists have to be very precise. And in order to do they have weights that they use to calibrate weights. You're going to use one. Here's one right here. See that glove?
Uh-huh.
Okay, take the glove and put it on.
Okay.
Because when you touch this weight, we want to make sure you don't get any of your body fluids and oils and whatnot on it, because that would change the weight. That's how precise this is.
Oh.
I'll take this one off, and you put on the very, very carefully controlled 1,000 grams over there and see if you really do have 1,000 grams. Ah, too much. Not enough,
It's way
right?
too much.
Okay. Whoop, whoop,
No.
yep, you got to take a little out.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, actually, when scientists would do this, they wouldn't be weighing the sand, they'd be weighing the weight. And they'd add or subtract weight from this in order to make it match that completely. Okay, so now just to make sure that it doesn't get contaminated, put that down, put on the glove,
Okay.
and put the weight back into its special box. Very good. And now the glove. Good, and you can tell the kids in class that you weighed out exactly 1,000 grams, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mice are the most common animal subjects used in scientific research. However, certain human diseases do not occur in mice. So other kinds of animals are models for research at the New York State College of Veterinary Medicine at Cornell University. Studying woodchucks may determine whether certain hepatitis viruses cause liver cancer in people. Cats can be infected with a feline leukemia virus, similar to the human AIDS virus. Progress here could help not only cats, but also millions of people. Dogs may be an appropriate model for a type of muscular dystrophy that appears to be inherited by a son from his mother. These chicks may help scientists find a cure for blood vessel disease, which kills millions of people. The chicks live in isolation to keep them free of disease. Mules may yield clues to how a mother's immune system can react against a developing fetus, causing spontaneous abortions. Investigating why walleyes develop skin tumors during colder weather could lead to a better understanding of skin cancer in people. Finding treatment for many human diseases has promise only because scientists have found appropriate animal models. Aaron, I don't suppose you've ever seen these little creatures before. They're magnified a couple of hundred times, and they live mostly in pond water, and they're called Euglena.
Euglena.
Yes, Euglena. And you notice I didn't call them an animal,
No.
but they are moving around. What's the definition of an animal?
Something that moves, right?
Okay, and where does an animal get its food?
An animal gets its food from the environment around it or other animals.
Yeah, other plants or other animals or plants, right? Now, how about a plant?
Well,
What-
plants, a living thing that doesn't move.
You think of that, and where does the plant get its food?
It produces its own food.
Right, with chlorophyll, you know, from sunlight and the things around it. Okay. Well, the reason I didn't call these little things animals, even though they're moving around, is that when scientists really began investigating them there very carefully, they found that they make their own food, and yet
So
they're
then-
moving around.
They can't be animals or plants, can they?
Well, there's some of each. Actually, they move around with a little whip-like thing that sticks out from the front that you can't quite see at this magnification. But inside of it are chlorophyll-like things like in a plant, so that not only can it get food from its environment, but also it can make its own food. So I sort of consider it one of the superstars of the microscopic world, the famous Euglena.
Euglena.
Yes, right. Andrew, I assume you've seen rope like this before?
Yes.
Know what it's made out of?
I think little pieces of string,
Well, it's actually plastic.
plastic.
Yes,
Oh.
this is a nylon rope, and it's made out of little sort of threads like this, which machines draw into very fine things, and then they twist them all up together. So you and I are going to make some like this today, out of 2 chemicals.
Okay.
Now, the chemicals can be just a little bit on the dangerous side, so put on the rubber gloves, and I'll put on a pair too. Whenever scientists do things that they think might spill or get on their hands, why they would wear these gloves to be sure that they don't get any on them, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now, pour this liquid into the glass.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to pour this one on very slowly so that I try to keep them from mixing too much.
Okay. What's in the liquids, though?
Well, there are 2 sort of exotic chemicals, which you probably won't ever get, but it's fun to do anyway, simply because it's a sort of showy sort of scientific trick.
Yeah.
Okay, now you stand by with this, and I'm going to reach in here with the tweezers and pull out a thread and stick it over here, and then you start winding.
Okay. You can
ready?
see. Yeah. Okay.
Here it
There we
comes.
go.
Okay, start turning.
Oh, is that ever neat?
Isn't that nice?
Oh,
Now, the reason it's
yeah.
happening is the chemical that's down below, the one that you poured in, is
Yeah.
coming up through the other liquid that I poured in. And that's when a chemical reaction is taking place that's making a long, long chain of molecules called a polymer.
Yeah. It looks like a little spider web.
Doesn't it, though?
Anything,
Yeah, right. When the machine makes it, of course, it would be very thin.
Yeah.
And then later on, they'd twist it up. But try not to hit the sides. Try to stay over in the center.
Yeah. There we go.
There you go. You can go a little faster, too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, keep going. There, whoops, now you dropped
yeah.
it. Here, wait, when it breaks, you just
Yeah.
keep going.
Okay.
In fact, here, I'll get another one.
Okay.
There
Yeah.
you
So how long will this take?
go. Well, it'll keep going until we run out of the liquid at the bottom. There you go.
Okay.
We'll try to keep it sort of in the center so you don't get to the edge of the glass. You can go on here for probably another half an hour. You got plenty of time?
Yeah.
Okay. But now you've at least made your own nylon thread.
Okay.